Hello and welcome to the module Add Users and Roles to AppDynamics. AppDynamics uses role-based access control, and the account management portal can be used to manage user accounts, including setting user permissions and privileges for only those functions necessary in defined job responsibilities. A tenant user can have specific roles, and the user accounts for tenant UI are managed within the controller GUI itself. User accounts on a tenant are managed based on the authentication options selected in the tenant UI. You can use groups to manage roles collectively. A user or group can have more than one role, but must have at least one defined role. Permissions grant users the ability to perform an action on the platform. You can set permissions at a granular level. For example, you can grant permission to configure only a single application or a particular tier, or to access a particular feature of the UI, such as custom dashboards. This table shows us the default roles that are created by default, which cannot be altered. To highlight some roles, the account owner can add or edit users, groups, roles, and the authentication provider. This role has most of the account-level permissions and is sometimes known as the account administrator. The administrator can view and modify components that change state, such as applications, business transactions, dashboards, and so on. Can create war rooms, view business flows, view and configure scheduled reports. This role cannot add or edit users, groups, or roles. The dashboard viewer can view custom dashboards, and, as a last example, the server monitoring user can view server monitoring UI. Cannot configure server monitoring features. Users with the account owner role or the administrator users can also create new custom roles in the controller UI. A common strategy for designing roles is to create one with the minimum permissions allowable for all users, such as view permissions. Then you can create roles that use customizations of that minimum permission role to give additional and explicit permissions to a specific feature or business application. AppDynamics has 3 different authentication methods available for AppDynamics, which are local user, SAML, and LDAP. Local users can authenticate through AppDynamics IDP for SaaS deployment. With SAML, the users can authenticate through their own IDP using the SAML 2.0 protocol. With LDAP, the users can authenticate through their own IDP. The tenant can authenticate users against local user accounts or external LDAP or SAML-based authentication providers. The user account for a SaaS tenant user authenticates through the AppDynamics identity provider in the cloud rather than by an external authentication provider. Coming to the API support for RBAC, API methods are available for user, groups, and roles management. These operations provide more flexibility and automation with RBAC management. With the admin or account owner privileges, you can add or remove users via API calls, using Add User to Group or Remove User to Group, for example. There are, however, some prerequisites to use RBAC API. You must be the account owner or have administrator user permissions. SAML and LDAP user creations are not supported, and you can only create permissions through the UI. Let's move to a demo regarding the role-based access control available in AppDynamics. To start creating and adding your users to your AppDynamics controller, the first thing that you should do is to go to the settings, then select Administration, and select Users. To start, you just click on Create, you write the name and email of the user that you want to add, and click on Save. After this, you should click on the roles to add the roles to this user, or you can go to Groups and select the group that you want to add to this user, depending on the role that the user should have and depending to the access that a specific user should have to AppDynamics. In terms of roles, you can go here, you can click on Create, and you can create a new role. Where you can select which account privileges these roles should have. If the user can create applications and mobile applications. In the databases, AppDynamics has these settings available. You also have some custom permissions available in terms of which databases the user can monitor. In the Analytics tab, we have general settings, but also for searches and event. And finally, in the last tab, you can assign users or groups to this role that you just create.